Hello children, let us start. As we have finished our previous topic, that is magnetic effects of electric current. So today I am going to start your new lesson, that is light, reflection and refraction. You all must have heard about these two terms in your previous classes also. So I think you are familiar with these two terms, but let me give you a small recap of these. First of all, tell me what is light. Like sound, light is also a form of energy which provides us or which produces in us a sensation of sight. That means it helps us to see the objects. With the help of light, we can see the objects. So light is a form of energy which produces in us a sensation of sight. Now let's read, let me give you one or two more properties of light. Like light travels in a straight line. You all are familiar. You must have done an experiment also to prove this. Light travels in a straight line. Light travels in a straight line, and when we keep an opaque object in the path of light, a sharp shadow is formed. Light cannot pass through the opaque object. It travels through straight line. It cannot pass through that opaque object, so it forms a sharp shadow of that object. Then now let us switch over to our reflection, the bouncing back of the light into the same medium from which it has come on striking the surface of an object is called reflection. So let me repeat it. The bouncing back of light into the same medium. Children, this is important. This only will give you the difference between reflection and refraction. Bouncing back of light into the same medium from which it has come. How it will bounce back? On striking the surface of any object is called reflection. There are two laws of reflection of light. First of all, angle of incidence is equals to angle of reflection. I have written it in a contracted form as I think you all are familiar with these two laws or studied about these two laws in your previous class also. So angle I, that is angle of incidence, is equals to angle of R, that is angle of reflection. In case of laws of reflection, angle I is equals to angle R. That is, angle of incidence is equals to angle of reflection. Second law, the incident ray, the normal to the mirror at the point of incident, and the reflected ray, all three lie in the same plane. Children, see, I have written here the incident ray, the normal to the mirror. Where will be the normal? Normal will be on the mirror at the point of incidence. That normal will form at the point of incidence, and the reflected ray all lie in the same plane. With this normal, I have not mentioned the word ray because it is just a line. It is not a ray. This is not a ray of light. It is just a line drawn by us where at the point of incidence on the surface of mirror. So that is why, but all these three, incident ray, the normal and the reflected ray, all three lie in the same plane. This is second law of reflection. Now what is point of incidence? The point at which a ray touches the mirror, that point. Suppose this is your, or any, you can say mirror or you can say any polished surface or any surface. Suppose this is your plain mirror. These lines show that it is the back side of the mirror. Suppose a light ray is coming like this, hitting the mirror here, and this is your normal, where it is drawn at the point of incidence. And what is it? It is reflected ray, incident ray and the reflected ray. This is, and the angle formed by incident ray with the normal is called angle of incidence, and the angle formed by reflected ray with the normal is known as angle of reflection. These two are same in case of a reflection. Here I am not talking about refraction. This is only reflection first I am talking about. So this is incident ray. This is just a line This is just a line. This is called normal because it is perpendicular. Where? At the point of incidence. And the reflected ray, all three lie in the same plane. Now what is incident ray? The ray or the point at which any ray touches the mirror. This is the point where this ray is touching the mirror. So this is called your point of incidence. Now what is normal? It is a line at right angle to the mirror. This line is at right angle to the mirror surface at the point of incidence. Where it is? It is at the point of incidence, and how it is? It is at the right angle to the mirror. So this is called a normal. This is all a short recap of what you have studied in your previous classes about reflection. Children, here we have simply talked about reflection. Now what I am going to do? I am going to talk about the image formation by a plane mirror, and I will tell you few properties of the image formed by a plane mirror, because you know shiny and polished surface as well as plane mirror, so in all these cases images are formed. So first of all we will talk about the images formed by a plane mirror. So I will just draw or I will write the properties of the images formed by a plane mirror. Children, the first question which you need to write in your notebook about this chapter, I will send a worksheet also, but I must tell you, first of all you will write what is light, then you are going to write about what is reflection, then laws of reflection, and the most important question from this chapter, from this topic, is properties of the images formed by plane mirror. Or on the basis of the properties which we will talk now, different types of question can be asked. Okay, so let us discuss about the properties of the images formed by a plane mirror. So children, let us talk about the properties of the image formed by a plane mirror. What do you mean by a plane mirror? A mirror whose reflecting surface is plane. It is neither curved inwards nor curved outwards. When you touch, I'll give you one example of plane mirror as your looking glass. The mirror in which you see yourself. Have you ever tried to touch the surface of the mirror? You will see that it is plane. There is no curve. You do not feel any curve in the looking glass. So such type of mirror whose reflecting surface is plane, it is not neither curved inward nor curved outward. Such type of mirror is known as plane surface or plane mirror. It can be your, when we buy new steel utensils, they also shine because their surface is smooth, polished. Those type of objects are also act as reflecting surfaces. So let us first talk about image formed by a plane mirror is always virtual and erect. Children, what do you mean by virtual? Virtual means a such type of image which we cannot obtain on the screen. Now what is screen? Why can't we obtain it on the screen? Because you do one experiment. Suppose there is a mirror. You stand in front of your looking glass or the mirror which you have in your house. You stand in front of that mirror. Do you see yourself in the mirror? Yes, you see yourself. The image is formed. Okay. Now you place a plain, you can keep a screen, plain white cloth acting as a screen or functioning as a screen in between you and the mirror. Will your image formed on that screen? No, image will not be formed. And one more characteristic of the image formed by a plane mirror is always virtual and erect. Erect means it is always seedha. Okay, so whatever erect, it is straight. It is not upside down, not ulta. It's straight. Okay, so image formed, first property of the image formed by a plane mirror is it is always virtual and erect. If there is an erect image, you have to keep that thing in your mind that it is virtual image. If the image is virtual, definitely it will be erect, or if it is erect, so definitely it will be virtual. This is the first property of the images formed by plane mirror. Second, the size of the image is equal to that of the object. Whatever is the size of the object, the same will be the size of the image formed by a plane mirror. Third, the image is formed as far behind the mirror as the object is in front of it. The image is formed as far behind the mirror as the object is in front of the mirror. Suppose you are standing 1 meter away from your looking glass. Your image will form on the other side. You will see yourself in the looking glass, and that image which you are going to see, that is also 1 meter behind. You can note this thing, children. If you are standing 1 meter away from the mirror, your image will also be formed on inside the mirror, that also 1 meter away. You mind it. See, you can check this. And next image is laterally inverted. Laterally inverted means right side left and left side right. This is called your lateral inversion. Like in case of mirror, when we raise our right hand in the mirror, it seems as if we are raising our left hand. This is called a lateral inversion. So children, these are the properties of the images formed by a plane mirror. The first property I had talked about was the image formed by a plane mirror is always virtual and erect. Children, virtual image we cannot obtain on the screen. In our lab, in our syllabus, we have an experiment to perform. That experiment is formation of images by a concave mirror and convex lens. Children, concave mirror, how can we form the image in those cases? We can form the images in those cases because such type of mirrors form, such type of, that is concave mirror and convex lens, such type of mirrors and lenses form real and inverted image. A real image, opposite word of these two, virtual and erect, real and inverted. Inverted is that in which we see ourselves upside down. Okay, that is called inverted, and it is possible to obtain a real image on a screen. When we will perform this experiment in the lab, then only you will come to know what actually I am talking about. So these are the properties, children, and before discussing anything in the light, we need to keep these terms in mind. That is virtual erect, real and inverted. These are very, very, very important terms. The question comes here, first the properties, and then another question is, write down the difference between virtual image and real image. First point of difference is real image is always inverted and virtual image is always erect. Real image we can obtain on the screen, whereas virtual image we cannot obtain on the screen. So these are generally we write about, or you can write another point of differences also, but these are the common which you can easily keep in your mind. So generally this question is also asked, write down the difference between real image and virtual image. So you can write these 2 points of differences also. I hope it is clear. Now children, here we have talked about a plane mirror. What will be if what type of images will be formed if this reflecting surface is curved like this? It is not straight, it is curved. Now this is these type of things. I think these two curved mirror also you have heard about. There are how many types of curved mirrors are there? 2 types, concave and convex we are going to talk about. Here children, if I draw such type of lines, this shows that this is the back side of the mirror. Back side was a polished surface. You have seen a mirror. There is a difference between mirror and glass. Mirror is polished on one side, whereas glass is transparent on both the sides. So if I am drawing the line, that means this is polished surface, and where is the reflecting surface? Now this is the reflecting surface. Light is coming and hitting here. Now, or this can also be here. These are the types of, if What will be the type of images formed if our reflecting surface is not plane but it is curved? So this discussion we are going to do in our next class. Before I switch off this video, you have to do an activity. You have to take a spoon. All must be having spoon. All are having, not must be. All are having spoons at home. You have to see yourself or your face in the curved surface of the spoon. Suppose this is curved inward. When you see your face in this side of the spoon, what type of image is formed? Now you turn the other side. Suppose this is the spoon now. Now you look from this side, which is curved outward. Here the reflecting surface was curved inward. Here it is reflecting surface, because you are looking from this side. Now this is our reflecting surface. Now what type of image is formed in this type of mirror or in this type of object whose reflecting surface is curved outward? So before I start or before I go to next video, you need to find out these answers. You have nothing to do it in these. You simply have to take one spoon and you have to see yourself from both the sides of the spoon. This is all what you need to do. Thank you children for today's class.